All right, season 4. We're going to call this episode 16. It's our Canucks and Lightning post-game after a 4-2 Tampa Bay win over the Vancouver Canucks today at Rogers Arena. That game started a little after 1 o'clock. I was there. I'm not sure what I saw. Be honest with you, the effort today, especially in the second period, I don't know if I'd call it painful, but I'd call it lackluster. Trying to figure out what's going on with this team. I thought the first 5 minutes of the game were flat by both teams, maybe because it was a Sunday 1 o'clock game. Teams seemed to pick it up after that. Canucks, I felt in that first period, didn't really look that great either. I saw that Hughes goal go in, obviously watching the puck in the goal light, and I was puzzled how it went in a little bit. But I guess you take it in a game like that when you're performing quite poorly. And I'm going to pull up the game stats here because I took a shot of the scoreboard, trying to actually share it on my screen. But here's how it ended up. 4-2 is the score. Vancouver was outshot by Tampa Bay. Canucks with 24 shots. Tampa with 32. 9 hits by Tampa. 2 penalties by Tampa. 11 block shots. 16 faceoffs won. Vancouver, on the other hand, 24 shots. I think it's 28 hits. 4 penalties to Tampa's 2. 17 block shots and 18 faceoffs won. You know, I watched that Tampa team, and I know Stamkos isn't there anymore, and maybe people think that window of those 3 Cup finals is open or closed, but obviously Gensel makes a big difference. Jay Gensel coming over, obviously, in the offseason, Tampa signing him after his short time in Carolina and his previous 7-8 years in Pittsburgh, but something doesn't sit right with me about this game for either team. I didn't think Tampa Bay was anything phenomenal. I just didn't think the Canucks were that good. But let's dive into some more stats about it, because it's not really fair to say a team or a game is good or bad without some numbers to back it up. I've given you some good numbers there. Some other stat lines there. Obviously, Quinn Hughes takes that penalty where he gets sticked in the face, comes back on after some repairs wearing a shield, scores the first goal. But what really stood out to me was how flat the Canucks were after they got that 4-minute power play. I believe they registered 1 shot. And they honestly, to be quite frank, did nothing on that first power play. 4 minutes of power play time, 19 with 55 seconds off the clock. And they can't do any significant, do any significant damage to a Tampa team who really in the first couple of minutes didn't look any better than they did. I'm going to share some stuff from Canucks Twitter here while we keep rocking, because this was actually a nice goal. This is Kiefer Sherwood's goal. I missed that goal because I was actually down getting food, and I got held back going down to my seat. And then Kiefer Sherwood scored this one to make it 2-2. This is probably the Canucks' best moment of the entire game. I'm just going to see what else I can find. Obviously, Tampa got those 2 quick goals in the second period, too. And I was listening to some radio coverage, while I was at the stadium, and the Canucks were really lacking on those seam passes, right? Looking at Ian McIntyre's tweet here, look at this. Including power play, Lightning first liners outscore Canucks first liners 4-0. Yet Van was close, tied 2-2 late. Canucks played 1 good period Friday and 2 really good periods today and lost, right? Time to start stacking those periods and playing good games. I thought in the second, I don't know what periods Ian's referring to. I thought in the second the Canucks were non-existent, but maybe those were the 2 good periods. Were the first and third, and what's really interesting, if you can see it, maybe it's just the way the camera captures it, but I don't think Rick Tocchet looks too happy in that shot. There's a few more things here. Braden Point is a 4-point performance. Nikita Kucherov scored and added 2 assists. So the Canucks' big guns, or one of them being JT Miller, isn't there. Neither is Thatcher Demko. Kevin Lankinen was fantastic in that game. He made several saves off really high danger chances that easily could have been goals. I don't know where the Canucks would be without him. But you have to feel for the Canucks a little bit without JT Miller, without guys like Filip Hronek. Demko's not there. It would almost be like watching this game and taking Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov out of Tampa's lineup and see where they see where they ended up. But just Rick Tockett's quote here. I like our 5-on-5 play. I didn't see much on their 5-on-5 play, and it was kind of that funky play for Gensel. Um, goal that waved off, and then it was given back to Tampa after the review. But yeah, no, it's clearly apparent the Canucks are missing something here. I don't know if it's an excuse. I don't know if Rick Tocchet would say it's an excuse. Um, Trying to dig up some more stuff here. But yeah, no, not a good effort. Uh, Elias Pettersson had some good moments. I thought it was a little bit sometimes like Quinn Hughes was trying to do it all himself, but it seemed like at some points in the game he was one of the only guys out there. So really disappointing for Quinn Hughes. Obviously takes that injury, gets sticked in the face. 4-minute power play, no ability to capitalize on any of that power play or have any kind of offense generated. So yeah, not an impressive effort in my opinion. And we'll see if on Tuesday's game against St. Louis, what's going to happen with Thatcher Demko. See if he starts. I know, kind of wonder. That's part of the reason why Thatcher got injured last year, was because they were using him to win games when they needed to win games, and they burned him out. But Lankinen has proven his worth here. Saw today on Twitter that Archer Seelovs has been sent back to Abbotsford in the AHL. Good for him. I don't think it's Seelovs' fault. He's had some poor performances. But there's a lot of things around this team that I don't really think have anything to do with Seelovs. But I like Ian's take there, and I'm trying to think what else I can find on this game while I surf through Twitter. But I've added a bunch of my own thoughts, as well as the stuff that I tweeted out or shared, right? Because I took that picture of the scoreboard. Tells the story, and in that second period, Canucks were outshot 18-5 by Tampa. So Canucks were non-existent in that second period, but Tampa was good. But something still says to me that Tampa isn't what they used to be, based on the stuff that I saw today. But still a good enough team. But I don't know how far they go in the playoffs. We'll see. Looking at some player breakdowns here to see what I can find. Trying to find some more stats. News. Some injuries for the Lightning in that game too. Haven't heard any more about JT Miller. Here's Daniel Wagner. Pass it to Bullis, talking about the game against Tampa. I'm just trying to find some more stuff here. Anyway, probably not going to hang on this one too much longer. Just a quick game wrap. I got more guests coming up this week on the podcast. Let's do a few things here while we're thinking about it. I'm going to share and screenshot some information for people here so they can see. This is our podcast page here. Get that sucker to load. I'm going to share our podcast page. Going to share a link to our there it is there. Well, it doesn't seem to be loading for some reason. All right. Looks like it's rocking out. Golden View Podcast. Facebook.com/Golden View Podcast. Let's pull up our Buzzsprout page for you. Share this tab instead. But more coming up on the podcast this week, hoping to have Brett Midsky from the Vancouver Warriors captain, preview Friday night's game where I'll be back at Rogers Arena. It's a Friday the 13th too. And so I'll be previewing with Brett this week. We'll do a live stream with him on Facebook and our YouTube channel. And what we're going to do there is break down the home openers for the Warriors, talk a little bit about their first game and that loss to the Colorado Mammoth, who won again this weekend. So they've started the season 2-0. That's the Colorado Mammoth. You can see our Buzzsprout page. You've seen our Facebook page. I think what else I can drop in the chat here for you. Keeping things going because I really hope for a good Warriors season this season. I think we're going to see it. But again, that last game for the Warriors, they had a good first half, up 7-1, and then got 10 goals unanswered. But Colorado did that to us last year too. So it's not like it's just one game where this happened to Vancouver against the Colorado Mammoth. And Vancouver had games like that even in the preseason games against Calgary and Colorado, where they were down a couple of goals, but fought back and won those games. So, like I've said before, I don't think the preseason's any indicator what's going to happen, for the Warriors this season, just because they won their preseason games. Trying to think what else I can show you online. Might look kind of goofy to show you the YouTube channel while I'm streaming to the YouTube channel. But let's wrap it up there, and I'll talk to everyone soon. Like I said, facebook.com/Golden V podcast, buzzsprout.com, 1-869-778/episodes. We'll talk to you soon.